Peace and blessings. Welcome back to the channel once again, where we talk all things health and healing from a holistic perspective, and today will be no different. Today I'm going to give you 7 reasons why you should stop counting calories. Okay, 7 reasons why you should stop counting calories. All right, now I know that this is something that goes hand in hand when you're either trying to lose weight or even when you're trying to gain weight as well too. One of my undergraduate degrees is in exercise science and exercise physiology. And what I will tell you, I was taught that very same science. But the unfortunate thing is I have not seen it work, especially when it comes to weight loss, okay? And it's even more especially when it comes to losing weight and gaining health. That equation never works. And I'm gonna give you 7 reasons why counting calories is something that should be thrown out of the books and should be removed from the equation when it comes to losing healthy weight and also gaining health in the process. Okay, but before we jump into the 7 reasons, it's also important to give you a little bit of background. The weight loss industry is a $93.8 billion industry. Okay, they're racking up almost $1 trillion a year. Okay, so just think about that for a second. This is the GDP for a lot of wealthy countries. And our weight loss industry here in America is the GDP for an entire country. All right, so that's the first thing I think is really important. The other thing I think is important to note is that our ancestors never had to count calories. If you go back and look at some of the videos from the 60s, the 70s, 40s, even before, if you go back and look at videos of our ancestors on the beach, just out and about, it is so rare to see somebody who is overweight, okay? And we're talking about 2 generations ago, not like 100 years ago, all right? So I think this is really important as well too. Our ancestors never had to count calories. I mean, this whole concept was something that was foreign to them, because if you look up the obesity rates in 1950, they were around 5%. If you look up the obesity rates today, that number is close to 42 to 45%. All right. Now, if you add in obesity and being overweight together, that number is 75%. So that's telling you that if our ancestors never had to count calories, and here we are trying to count calories and take weight loss this and these type of meals and this type of diet, and none of it is still working, is telling you that something is elementally wrong, okay? The other important note I think is really important is that when you're looking at a lot of the solutions that are being presented today, when you go in to see your doctor, a lot of these semaglutides are being presented. Semaglutides being Ozempic, Wegovy, the list goes on, right? But what they're not telling you is all of the downfalls of those drugs. So what I want to do before we get into these reasons, because this is really important, because a lot of people are showing up, taking these injections, getting good results in terms of weight loss, but they're not understanding the full cost of it, all right? So what I want to do real quickly is give you just a few of some of the warnings, some of the side effects of these drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy. I think is really important because they're not discussed enough, okay? 1, people do lose weight, and 2, people do lose a significant amount of weight, but what they're not telling you is that 40 to 50% of their weight loss is muscle loss, okay? That is hugely important. You never want to lose muscle, okay? When you're losing weight, the first thing you want to lose is waste, stuff you don't need, okay? A whole bunch of fecal matter just sitting in your and rotting in your gut, a whole bunch of excess fat on the body. You want to lose that type of weight, which is waste, okay? You do not want to lose muscle. When you lose muscle, there are so many consequences to losing healthy muscle. And the unfortunate consequence of taking these drugs is that you're going to lose 40 to 50% of the weight loss is going to be muscle, Okay, so that's hugely important. All right. I could just stop there and be done with the side effects, and we could just, if it were up to me, I would take them off the market just based off of that. But number two side effect of these drugs is gastroparesis. Paresis being a paralysis, gastro being the stomach, a paralysis of the stomach, meaning the stomach doesn't empty, so people end up vomiting up their food because the stomach is paralyzed. Okay, so it doesn't empty. And this could take place and be a permanent condition for 2 to 3 years for a lot of people. Okay, and people just have not seen these side effects. But once you start to see these side effects where you're having digestive issues and you start to regurgitate your food, you're knowing that you're having one of these symptoms, which is gastroparesis. Okay, another side effect is that the drug has a black box warning. Now, let me explain what a black box warning is. Okay, this is the highest warning that the FDA gives out for any drug on the market. Okay, it's the highest cautionary label on a market on a drug for the FDA. Now, the particular black box warning is that these drugs in 12 to 36 months increase the risk for not only thyroid tumors, but also thyroid cancers and other cancers as well too. Many other doctors are seeing that people who are taking these drugs, they're seeing an explosion in things like breast cancer as well too. Okay, so it's hugely important. This is a black box warning that when you get this drug, your doctor, your pharmacist should be telling you about this, but quite often they're not mentioning this black box warning that goes along with all of these drugs. So it's just hugely important to understand that, there's a cost when you take shortcuts. Okay. And I'm not here to stump on anybody's party when it comes to weight loss, because weight loss is a very important part of health. But you just want to make sure that you're having healthy weight loss. Okay. Because again, when you're losing 40 to 50% of your weight loss being muscle, that's a huge issue. Okay. When you're having issues with your digestive system, which is directly correlated with your weight. Okay. All right. As a result of gastroparesis, or as a result of having issues with your pancreas down the line as well too, which is also going to affect your digestion as well too. And then this black box warning that is also associated with this drug as well too. So it's just hugely important to understand that there's a opportunity cost when you're taking these very expensive drugs. And not to mention, when you stop taking the drugs, most people will experience immediate weight gain. Okay, so it's just really important to understand that, this is not an end all be all, and there's never a magic pill. Okay, there's never a magic pill when it comes to your health. Okay, and the most important thing about losing weight is you lose weight, which is mostly waste, and you gain health in the process. Okay, so this is hugely important. The other thing I think is important to note before we get into these 7 reasons is that the most important thing about weight loss or weight gain is nutrient diversity. Okay, that's the most important thing. A lot of us aren't getting all of the basic nutrients that we need. We're not getting enough amino acids, especially the essential amino acids. We're not getting enough healthy fats in our diet. Okay, especially omega-3s. Okay, we're not getting enough minerals and vitamins as well too. So this is why we have so many deficiencies. Okay, and then we believe that because the front of the box will say it's enriched with vitamin B12 or iron or whatever it may be, we believe that we're getting those nutrients, but those are synthetic nutrients. Okay, so it's just hugely important to understand that most important on your journey, whether it be, again, to lose weight, or for those of you out there who are trying to gain weight, nutrient diversity. Okay, because not only do you want to lose or gain weight, healthy weight, but you also want to make sure you're gaining health in the process. And the other thing is avoiding toxicity. Okay, avoiding toxicity. All right, so those are the things that really need to be focused on. And then everything else is on an individual basis. Okay, everything else is on an individual basis. So these cookie cutter models don't fit everybody because they're not for everybody. All right, so hugely important. So let's jump into the 7 reasons why you should stop counting calories. All right, number 1, because all calories are not created equal, okay? A calorie is not a calorie, okay? It doesn't work like that. And the reason why I know that to be true is because you can look at a carbohydrate versus a fat versus amino acid. And when you look at the amount of calories required to burn that either that carbohydrate, that fat, or that protein, they're different, okay? So it's just important to know all calories aren't created equal from that standpoint, but all calories aren't created equal because looking at a healthy calorie, a healthy 100 calories from fruits and vegetables versus an unhealthy 100 calories from processed foods, totally different. Okay, so they're not even on the same page. And the other thing that's important is because, you know, you're not overweight. In most cases, you're not overweight because you eat too much. You're overweight because you eat too wrong. You're eating the wrong things, okay? So that's hugely important. So the type of calorie matters, all right? Number one. Number two, because everyone's metabolism is different and everybody's biochemistry is different, you know? Like what you're deficient in or what I'm proficient in terms of vitamins, minerals, hormones in my body, gut bacteria is totally different. Where my metabolism is in terms of my age, in terms of my health, is different from yours. So if we all are counting calories, hoping that this counting calorie method is going to work, is this isn't because we're all different. Okay, so because that means that the answer is going to be different in terms of how many calories I need versus how many calories you need. Just to give you for instance, on a daily basis, I'm consuming somewhere around 2,000 calories. That's about it. But it's 2,000 of the right calories. That's the most important thing for what I need. So I understand the amount of activity I'm doing when I work out throughout the day. I'm understanding the type of things I'm doing. So how much hydration I need, when I need to overcompensate because I probably had too much activity. I'm understanding where I'm at metabolically and in terms of my biochemistry, in terms of what has been shown to me in terms of vitamins and minerals, things that have been borderline, things that have been deficient in the past, so things I need to focus on in my diet. So I understand these things about my diet. So as a result of that, I understand that what I need versus what the other person needs is going to be totally different. And this has to be accounted on your journey. Again, if you're trying to have healthy weight loss or healthy weight gain, hugely important. All right. The number three reason why you should stop counting calories is because counting calories alone doesn't get you the results. How many people do you know have counted their calories, and it does not get them the desired results that they're looking for? They ate this pre-cooked meal or Weight Watchers or whatever it may be for months. They lost no weight, they gained no health in the process. And so it's just important to know that I've seen people do it. Count calories for years. And the unfortunate thing, it doesn't get them the results. And secondarily, it's just not sustainable. That's not how people live their day-to-day lives. The idea of just counting calories, okay? So most people aren't going to spend the rest of their lives typing in how many calories they count, okay? A living like that, all right? It's actually more efficient to listen to your body. Okay, when you get to that point where you can listen to your body will start to tell you what it needs and what it doesn't need. And you'll understand when you're thirsty versus when you're hungry. Okay, so that's far more efficient. All right. The number four reason why you should stop counting calories is because different calories will impact your weight, your metabolism, and your genetics all differently. Okay. The calories that come from processed foods impacts your weight, your metabolism, and your genetics very differently from the calories that come from fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. All right. So different calories will impact your weight, your metabolism, and your genetics very differently. Case in point, if you have a genetic tendency to be intolerant towards gluten. Okay, that's not only going to impact, your gut health and cause you to have an allergy to it, but it's going to inflame the gut, and as a result, you won't absorb much of the nutrient that you are consuming. Okay, so this is why I'm trying to tell you, like, the idea of just counting calories, it just does not work. So the important thing is to understand your body, understand your goals, and understand the importance of nutrient density and diversity. Okay? Stay away from the toxic foods. Stay away from foods that aren't real foods. All right? Hugely important. Number 4. All right? Number 5. The number 5 reason why you should stop counting calories is because the eat less, work out more, or move more model, it just doesn't work. How many people do you see at the top of the year have New Year's resolutions to lose weight? They hit the gym, the ground running. They're on the Daniel fast. I know all of this sounds super familiar. You're going to the gym, and now the gym equipment is flooded. There's 10 people at every machine, and nobody loses weight. Okay, so this whole idea that just because you're working out more and eating less, it doesn't always work for people. All right, it just does not always work for people. So it's hugely important to understand that, like the model, this old model that was created probably in the 80s, to be honest with you, when this whole fitness craze started in the 80s, the whole model just does not work. It breaks down completely. And I've seen it not only in practice, but I see it every day. I hear it every day when I ask people what they've done to sort of help themselves lose weight. They always say, I ate less and I worked out more and it got me no results. And what they're not taking into account is how addictive the food is today. Because even if you try to eat less and work out more, the food is so addictive, you end up going back to the old food that was so unhealthy for you in the first place. All right. Number six, the number 6 reason why you should stop counting calories is because the idea of a calorie is flawed when it comes to losing weight. Let me explain what I mean. Most people don't know that how many calories would you think is in 1 pound of fat? All right. Just think about it. I want you to think about that for a second. How many calories are in 1 pound of fat? Now, while you think about that, I want you to think about this. Let's say you want to lose 20 pounds. Okay, 20 pounds. All right. In 1 pound of fat, there's 3,500 calories. Now, I don't even eat that much in a day, 2,000 calories. All right, so that should automatically say I'm in I'm in a calorie deficit based on how much I work out and things like that every day. But I don't lose weight every day. All right, and the idea that 1 pound of fat, just 1 pound, is equal to 3,500 calories. And when you go do a workout, I want you to look at the number of calories you burn. Maybe 300. If you're going really hard, maybe 500. Okay? Let's say you burn 500 calories. All right? You went to the gym and you went hard. All right? And then you ate 2,000 calories to meet your minimum requirement for what you need for your bodily function. All right? So there's no way you're going to lose weight. All right? Think about it. If you ran a marathon, the average person during a marathon burns about 2,600 calories. That's not even 1 pound. Okay, so the science itself is absolutely flawed. So this is why people don't win, because they're working off of a science that could never work in the first place, that was flawed in the first place. All right, so that's the 6th reason why you should stop counting calories. Okay. The 7th reason why you should stop counting calories is because the gym can't compensate for a bad diet. Okay? I tell people this all the time. People think they can sit up their way to abs. It does not work like that. Okay? 80% of a flat stomach abs is in the kitchen, okay? But it's not just in the kitchen in terms of like how much you eat, but more importantly, what you eat, okay? Because if you eat the right type of foods, those foods are not only going to be nourishing to the body, they're going to help you burn a lot of calories. We all know that the more fiber you put in your diet, the more you're going to lose weight. All right, we all already know that the more nutrient dense the food is, the lower the calorie of the food, which is the perfect inverse relationship that you want. You want a lot of nutrients in the food and a little calorie in the food. So it's not about calorie, it's about the nutrients in the food. That's the most important thing. But more importantly, your workout regimen could not compensate for your bad diet. It just can't. All right. So if you eat that donut or that 20-piece wing or whatever it may be, the idea of going to the gym a little bit extra, I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to the gym. I'm saying that you shouldn't think that that's going to compensate for a lack of good behavior. That's what I'm saying, most importantly. So those are the 7 reasons why you should stop counting calories. Now, what I'm going to do now is give you a few tips. The things that are really going to impact your metabolism, which is going to cause you to lose unhealthy weight, okay? Because you want to lose unhealthy weight, which is waste that you don't need. It's not about losing weight, it's about losing waste, okay? Number 1 thing that impacts your metabolism is refined carbohydrates. Get them out of your diet, okay? The breads, the pastas, things of that nature. Number 2, an unhealthy microbiome. When your gut is unhealthy, you will not be able to lose weight, okay? That's been proven. When your gut is unhealthy, you will either not be able to lose weight, or if you're trying to gain weight, you won't be able to gain weight, okay? Hugely important. Number 3, deficiencies. I tell people all the time, when I see people who are overweight, I see people who are really malnourished. That's how I see it as malnourished. And some of those people may eat a lot, but the vast majority of people who are overweight don't even eat a lot, okay? But they're still malnourished, okay? So despite the fact it looks like they're really nourished, they're really malnourished, meaning most of what that excess weight is waste and toxicity, because toxicity hides out in fat. This is why I tell people, when you do my detox, all of a sudden the weight starts melting off. The waistline gets thinner, because it's literally ushering the toxicity out of the body, which is the fat is just going to follow at that point. So it's hugely important to understand that deficiency plays a huge role in the metabolism, okay? And toxic foods and chemicals as well too, because there are a lot of compounds out there that are known as obesogens or endocrine disruptors. And these compounds cause us not only to gain weight, but also cause us to kind of, make it very difficult to gain weight and throw our hormonal system off as well too. All right. My last 2 recommendations that I'll give you on your journey is this. Focus on nutrient dense foods, and secondarily, eliminate man-made foods. All right, simple concept. So focus on nutrient dense foods, eliminate man-made foods. All right. Second one, movement to sweat. All right, movement to sweat. When your body is sweating, that's when you're moving. Okay, so if you're working out and you're never sweating, you need to change your movements. All right, so movement to sweat. All right, so I hope this video has been helpful. Share this video with somebody out there, because what we need to do is change this whole paradigm and how we think about weight loss. Because one of the greatest things you could do is lose excess body weight. Because one of the dangerous things you can have in your body is excess fat on the body, especially because that fat is where all of the toxicity hides out. And this is what makes us sick. This is what makes us immune compromised. This was what makes us increase our risk for breast cancer in women. This is also what makes men have low testosterone, low vitamin D, and the list goes on and on and on. But most importantly, understanding how in the process of losing weight, you're going to gain health. All right, so share this video with somebody you care about. Make sure you like and subscribe. And until the next time, peace and blessings and Godspeed.